Okay, welcome to another Flower Factory podcast. You guys haven't seen it, but Ellen and we had a problem with the podcast, and since I'm doing everything myself, of course, I'm not a professional. A lot of things go wrong. So thanks for your patience. Today I'm here with Ellen Jansen, and we know each other for like at least 10-ish years, like 8 to 10 years, I would say.
Yeah,
Can you please introduce yourself?
of course. My name is Alan Jansen. I'm 38, living in Maastricht. I am an entrepreneur. I wrote a book recently, and I think we got in touch at school time. At the time we were at Notenboom at the time. At least I was there with your brother.
You studied together with my brother. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then we got friends at the time.
Yeah.
And then later on we met, I think, in the time that you were running the pizzeria.
Yeah. I saw you in the pizzeria sometimes. I would see you in the pizzeria sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's your beautiful dog back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chiara. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically who I am, and quite busy with some things, but we'll get to that.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Exactly. What is it that you do? If you had to say it in a nutshell, what is it that you do in your daily life to pay the bills?
Mhm.
Like, put it very
Yeah.
simple. How would you describe yourself professionally?
Well,
You do a lot.
I run Cheap Power for You. I founded that company in 2016. Then I had
Oh,
my
wow.
first project in Maastricht, and it's a sustainable energy company.
Yeah.
So we help building owners to get sustainability for their buildings, which are central heated buildings.
Yeah.
We provide them with a solution which enables them to produce their own electricity and use
Oh, nice.
the waste heat from that production to heat the building.
That's quite specific. Okay. Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I developed a power dividing mechanism at the time, like 8 years ago.
Wow.
And I got a patent on that. So that's where I basically started my entrepreneurial life with,
Yep.
8 years ago. And that's basically where that's where I grow with as a person, I think, as an entrepreneur. And then recently I started to do some other things.
Yeah,
but
a lot of
we'll
other
get to that.
things.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But that's basically where I started with.
Yeah, nice. It's super inspiring, by the way. You come up with a system the way I know you. We didn't talk a lot, but we didn't talk a lot about business for sure.
Mhm.
Was just regular. I think that's your phone.
Yeah, it's in my pocket, but
Okay, it's okay.
doesn't matter.
And I think the interesting thing is you don't have a background in technicality or technical things. This
Yeah.
is at least
That's true.
what I'm assuming, and then you come up with something that you also patent. Like, how did that go? Can you tell me, how did you roll into this business first of all?
I think being an entrepreneur in the end is that you see opportunities, that you connect people, and that you connect the right people to the right situations. And I saw a situation whereby sustainability was getting a hot item. And we're talking about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was just starting. And I foresaw that these buildings will have a big challenge in getting more sustainable, because it's quite tough. Because
Why is that tough? I was thinking about that. You're talking mainly about, sorry to interrupt, about flat buildings, like apartments.
Exactly.
Okay. Why is that tough?
Because they're very poor isolated. They're from the 60s and 70s.
That makes sense.
These buildings, and they have a enormous heat demand. So heat pumps can't basically heat those buildings. That's pretty difficult. So there's quite a challenge to provide them with heat, and not all towns or villages have heat nets in the ground, which is now one of the solutions that people are offering for those buildings.
Okay.
And I saw there was a need of a solution that could help them get more sustainable. And then I combined some knowledge that I had regarding the fiscalities of the energy world, and then I basically thought of a technique. I thought, which technique could be interesting to produce both their electricity and their heat.
Yeah.
And then I got onto the product which is called CHP, Combined Heat Power, and that's
Okay. What is that?
that's basically like a car engine, and they use it also in in Germany and Belgium, they use it a lot in companies to produce electricity and heat for their like hotels, wellness centers. So basically, it's like
You're talking Chinese to me. I'm trying to follow it. Like this is super technical. Like I never looked at it. Like sorry.
No,
continue.
Okay. It's like a car engine, but then on the engine there are no wheels, but there's like a big dynamo that we have on our bikes.
Fair enough.
They roll, and then electricity is being produced, and then. So that technique is not new. Also, in the farms where they grow flowers and stuff, they also use those techniques to produce electricity, and also use all the heat for the kassen, for the big glass houses. So that's where they use it for in the Netherlands. And I was thinking like, okay, if I get that technique in a flat building, there are a huge number of consumers living together. They all have their own connection to the grid. And I had to provide with a technique that enabled them to divide that power from that CHP, that machine, onto those connections from the households.
From the building.
That's where I designed the ID, and then I got Hogeschool Zuid on the table. They have a special technique department. In Access, which is a provider from the net.
Huge one.
And some electrical companies, and I all got them together. I said,
that must have been a bitch.
It was pretty difficult, especially because it's still only an idea in your mind. And you have to get those big parties at the table, believe in your ID.
I know how that goes.
And to spend time on it, and to invest in it. And that was my main challenge. And then it got more and more to a concrete product. So,
Okay, so you have this idea. From the time that you had this idea into like the physical product, meaning this heat, is it a heat pump?
As a power divider.
Power divider. How long did that take? I'm not going to ask you how difficult that was, because that must have been a crazy journey, but like how long did that take? Just for my time frame, just to have an idea.
I think I started with the idea like mid 2015. Then I had my exit at a bank. I was working in a financial institution before.
Interesting.
And then I quit it. I was eating all my last euros that I earned at the
I know how that goes.
Exactly. And I was like nearly broke. But just this idea, and I was like, I was believing in it so hard. And my parents were saying, you have to get a job again because, it's
you have to pay things.
Exactly. And then the 1st of April 2016, I actually delivered the first project here with an investor in Maastricht.
Wow. That's
so it was nearly
quick.
A year.
That's fast.
Yeah.
That's very fast for such a big product, for something new.
Yeah, it was but I also had pressure on my shoulders because I didn't have money to live for years without income. So I had
that's
like
an interesting place.
Yeah, so I then people, they can deliver pretty fast under stress or with pressure on their shoulders.
It works so good to be with your back against the wall, because you're going to figure out that you have way more capacity, way more time, way more efficiency, way more anything. With actually less resources, meaning monetary resources. But you're going to move, you're going to call, you're going to put your ego inside, whatever.
Exactly. And there's no alternative.
No.
You have to.
It's live or die.
And there's nobody else who's paying the bills, like you said. So you have to do that yourself. And that was the realization I had. But I knew this was the life I wanted.
Nice.
Because I
That's important.
I worked at the bank for 3 years, and I know this was not my life.
Okay. A regular, with all respect, desk job.
Of course,
but
it was not my thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's also not my thing. Even though I'm sitting at the desk here with you, but like,
But I highly respect everybody who does.
100%. That's not even the case.
But it's always, you always have to do the things which are suited to your,
100% for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to think about, what do I want to do? What gets me happy?
Exactly.
And
Interesting bridge.
So that was it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
What she's doing. Like, this was one of the things, but like, let's like break the ice. Like, I know you in a different body, as a different, I don't know, like how you say that, like as a different person. You were Sander Jansen. And then I didn't see you like for a couple of years. And then I saw you as Alan Jansen. For me, I think you never experienced any difference in our interaction or whatever. Because Yeah, what the fuck? That would be crazy. But like, it's a huge difference for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about that. Like, how was that transition? Since when did you feel that? Now looking in hindsight,
Mm-hmm.
when was the moment that you felt not like? What period of time can you like pinpoint? Kind of like, hey, it makes sense. From that time, I felt that this was going on because I don't know this,
Yeah.
and I'm very interested in this.
Yeah. So you mean when I felt this the first time?
Yeah, when you not when you knew it for sure, but you were like thinking like now in hindsight, looking back when I was 22, 8, 31, whatever
Yeah.
the age is.
Of course, I'm writing a book about this now, so I've been
Yeah, I know.
I've been digging in my past enormously for the last months. There were many signs already when I was a child.
Okay.
Because when I was like 3-4 years old,
wow.
my parents, they gave me Action Man, which were dolls with guns and things like that.
Yeah.
That they were giving to boys.
Super
of course.
masculine,
Yeah.
targeted at boys.
But as soon as I got them, I was always throwing away the guns. And I asked for more clothes, from Barbies and stuff in the house. And I started to dress them. And I was always at toneel, so I was playing plays, like
theater.
musicals and theater.
Yeah.
I was doing theater as well as a child. And I was always playing with my neighbor girl. She was living next to us, and we were always playing with the dolls in her house, and she always had to, close my shoes, the vetas, and we were all straps at the laces. Yeah. And even her parents recently, they said that was always so strange that a boy was asking a girl to do that, because normally boys wouldn't ask a girl to do that.
Fair enough, yeah.
And so I had many signs already, but at that time it was not common knowledge yet. So
definitely
we were
not.
just living our lives, and I was a happy kid. I was very happy. I was always singing in the house, doing musicals. I was, very outgoing.
Sorry to interrupt. You weren't even like aware of that. You were just you doing things the way you thought.
And I was girly. I was very.
You were aware of that for yourself?
I was.
You were playing. You were just going through the day, having fun.
Yeah, I was going through life. I had fun. I was a happy child, basically. Until my testosterone kicked in when I was like 11, 12 years old.
This is when it happens. I don't know shit. This is when it happens. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, you all remember your first wet dream.
Oh fuck yeah.
Then normally your manhood starts, then from that period of time, my parents, they told me that I actually saw the shine of my face going away.
Oh wow!
I saw the shine of my childhood going off my face, and it got worse and worse. And recently, my mother told me that she sees it's now fully back on my face.
Yeah,
and
that's
a small child again in me.
Those signs are so nice that you get confirmation by like people that are very dear to you.
Yeah, that's
very nice.
Again, like a child,
Yeah.
And so basically, from my puberty, it started. My fun in life started to get less. I still had a nice puberty, of course. I had many nice friends. I started, wearing girl clothes all the time. Then I was alone.
When you were at home.
Yeah, I was changing into a girl every day.
So courageous. Like, sorry to interrupt. I'm a super good interrupter, which is horrible when people do that to me. But like, I do that to people. I'm such a hypocrite. Mm-hmm. But like, it's so courageous for you to like, you speak about like it's like drinking water. Like everything is good, and I respect that.
You know why?
Why?
Because I want people to realize two things. First of all, that this is real, and I get more into my story later on. Yeah. And I want to inspire other people by also being themselves, no matter what that means.
Yeah, nice.
Because it's not only about gender dysphoria, it's about living without a mask and being the person that you want to be.
Exactly. It could be that you want to play soccer. Okay, I want to skateboard. Usually in my country, this is not the thing you do, in my culture, not my country. Like, because it doesn't have a future and this and that. But this is a very shallow example, but it could hold someone in a kind of a
In a cage.
negative in a cage.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
people are all living by the norm, which is a very small but
What is a norm,
but
by the
very
way?
destructive word. Yeah, but it's many people they they live by the norm, which they emphasize on themselves, which they think is required from them.
Yeah.
That's why people are getting burnouts. They get stressed because they're living in jobs, they're doing things that basically don't fit with them.
Just to please whatever and have less friction.
Yeah, that's it.
For the price of not being yourself for your whole life.
Yeah, and you won't make it, you know. And in my case, that's what really destructive. But then I'm already later on in the process. So in my puberty, I was like changing, and I still had fun in that. And I was really dancing in front of the mirror, and I was always a happy girl at that time.
Yeah.
I was feeling myself.
This is how you talk about yourself back then.
Yeah.
Like I was a happy girl dancing.
Yeah, then I was
Very
feeling
nice.
like that. And I had many friends, also girls, normal friends, not with nothing else.
Yeah. Just friends.
And also boys. I had both. But relationship wise, I was only with girls at the time. But later, when I look back at it now, it was like a bestie, but with intimacy with it.
Okay, so you already had it back then.
Yeah.
This is like end of the.
Now I know it for sure that with girls in my past, I was just had like a bestie, and if I was always talking with them like hell, and they always told me, I had never had a friend yet who talked like you do, and that's all things. When I look back on my life, you can
It goes one direction.
Yeah, exactly.
You know for sure. Like this is like I've always been this person.
Yeah, and then when I was 17 or something, I think Google kicked in. And then I read the first time about
such
gender
a blessing.
dysphoria.
Such a blessing. Thank you, Google, YouTube. Thank you so much.
And then I read about gender dysphoria, and then I was like,
how what is that word?
Gender dysphoria.
Okay.
So that means you're unhappy with the gender you have as a person from your birth.
Yeah.
And then I knew that I was reading that, and that was the most applicable definition I read about myself ever.
Nice.
And I was totally recognizable. But at the same moment, because I've always been quite driven as a person.
Oh yeah.
I
know. I don't doubt that. Nobody doubts this.
Yeah, and I had quite.
There's 12 things at the same time. You think I do a lot? I do a lot, but like it's different. Sorry.
No problem. But I have like a bucket list, and I had I wanted to do a study. I wanted to have a master. I wanted to have my own company in the Netherlands, which was operating in the whole country. I wanted to have a family, get married, have children. And I was like, when I read that definition, in the same instant, I knew for sure that this definition, or at least any transition, would never mix or work together with the purposes I had in life.
Yeah. So it was a total mismatch.
Yeah, so at that time I put it in the freezer. I put it away, and I thought, as long as I will gain all the things I want to do, and have my bucket list completed, I will be happy. Yeah. And then it will be all okay. And then I started living my life. I got into relationships. One after the other failed because of this. Yeah, makes total sense. Be the man that I wanted to be. Yeah. And then in 2020, I got into a depression because I realized that this wasn't gonna make me happy, because I had completed nearly all of the things on my list except for having children. I was engaged. Such a young age. I was getting close to a marriage. Yeah. I had my company.
I saw her.
Master. Yeah, you saw her.
Beautiful woman. Yeah. Girl, I want to say. She's not a girl. Beautiful woman.
Yeah, she is.
Super kind.
And then I realized, shit, that's not gonna work. Yeah. And I was
so courageous.
From my luck more and more.
Of course.
The more I realized, the more I got unluckier, and that was very confronting.
Yeah.
And then I got into a depression. I think the high point was that one time, and that was the time I changed everything, because I was with my ex-girlfriend in the Bijenkorf. Yeah. And then basically we were going for another costume for me. That was in late 2019. Okay. And we had a marriage party in the weekend after that from friends, and we were gonna get a new costume for me. Yeah. And then we were. I had quite some panic attacks already in that period, like hyperventilation. Oh shit! I was really feeling bad. And then at that time I was.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sorry. This is my professionalism again.
You know to choose the moment. Yeah.
Sorry, Alan,
That's okay.
and sorry, people. Things are happening today that never happened. The light just turned off. The podcast module didn't work. Sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So we were walking into the bake-off, and we were on the electric
Escalator. Yeah.
going down, and basically halfway, I got a blackout. I was like fainting away because I
Oh,
was
shit.
panicking so hard. I was thinking,
Too much
do I
pressure.
really have to go again
Yeah.
for a suit?
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
do that. I want to go upstairs with her to buy a dress.
For
I
how
couldn't-
long?
I
For how
couldn't go
long can it
anymore,
last?
and then it just got black in front of my eyes.
Fuck.
And then I knew this is not gonna work out.
Yeah. This is very dangerous even.
Yeah.
Yeah. This doesn't.
I was the stress was really consuming me.
Yeah.
Like the role I put up for myself, the mask I was living with for over 20 years already.
Yeah, fuck.
Really, it nearly killed me, and I was even at that period. I got even like suicidal sometimes.
Oh,
the thoughts about it. I never tried or did anything, but I was thinking about it that I couldn't live like that anymore.
It popped up in your mind frequently.
Yeah, and then I
Oh, that's-
realized this is real, and you cannot manage this away. This is something totally different than feeling the urge to dress up like a woman. for the
Yeah.
weekend or something like that.
Whoa.
That's
I
because some
understand
people,
the difference. I
combine
see the
that,
difference. No.
And this is really like I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I knew it then because I tried it for so long to live in the person the gender that was given to me by my
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
But even my parents said it killed me, literally.
Yeah. They see everything. Your parents.
And it really killed me. And I was like,
Almost
I was
everything.
like a wreckage in 2020. I was going to the doctor every day because I have like a depression. I had so many physical.
You were taking medications as well, most
medication,
probably.
yeah, exactly.
You were like a zombie, living
Yeah.
like a plant or
Exactly.
something.
And then I started with my process,
Yeah.
and it changed everything.
Yeah, I see it. Look at her.
Yeah,
Okay, this is 2020.
yeah,
This is also during the pandemic.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to talk about the pandemic so much, but you're going through this transformation, huge transformation,
Mm.
but you know that it's the right thing.
Mm.
And then comes also this pandemic. Has that been an extra challenge? Has it brought problems?
I think it started in March 2020, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And that was the time just after my blackout in the Baco. That
Oh,
was
shit.
late 2019.
Yeah.
That was a period where I said, okay, I have to do something about it because
Yeah.
this is not good. And then the pandemic came,
Yeah.
and I was living in total fear of what my transition would mean for everything
Yeah,
that I built up.
Everything.
like private,
Friendship, yeah,
business-wise,
everything.
And then Corona came, and that was really too much for me. That was
Yeah.
like my final drip, and that's why I got into the depression and also the suicidal part,
Yeah,
where I thought I cannot cope with this life anymore.
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I was
fucking
like,
crazy.
because I had like my own problem, which was eating from me. But beside that, I also had the stress from Corona on my company,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that was like too much.
Yeah.
And 2020 was the most difficult year of my life.
Yeah, worst year,
Without-
most probably,
without
for a
doubt.
lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had like two fronts. that I
Yeah,
had to
this
fight
is
on.
I didn't have the other one, but business-wise, COVID was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, 2020 was
I didn't
crazy.
know what to do. And then then it still took me 1.5 years, so till mid 2021, where I told everybody my story. I took
Nice.
like 1.5 year diagnostical phase in Amsterdam in the VUMC. That's the hospital that treats people with gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
So I took 1.5 year with them to build up the confidence,
Oh, wow.
to tell everybody, and
That must have been a hell.
that was
That must have been a hell.
well, living towards it was, but the experience itself, my coming out period, it was such a warm shower.
I'm getting goosebumps of this, out of
Oh.
your courage and your courage for being vulnerable like this. You're
Yeah.
putting your nerves out and everybody can poke you. Yeah,
Yeah,
You
but I
know,
don't
the
care.
shit some people say.
Yeah, you know, the moment you start to care less about what other people think of
Yeah.
you, your life
That's
begins. And
that's
that's
the
really
freedom
true.
part.
And that I had to also to train myself in becoming that person.
Of course, you
That's why I
cannot
can
just
also-
become it. Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
That's why I
It's a
can
process.
coach other people now as
Oh,
well.
you know. You know.
'Cause I went through it pretty deep. And in this 18 months, I had to really prepare myself. Because the way I talk about it now is, of course, not the way I did it at that time. I was
It's
very
very
shy.
easy. I know it is.
Yeah, and now I'm like, a spokesperson as an ambassador, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, for sure.
So I got into this period where I was like 2 months time. I was on the phone with business people,
Yeah.
with clients, partner firms, ING, Vattenfall, Veenstra,
And they,
everybody.
yeah, like crazy
I had
companies you work
to-
with.
I had to call CEOs, all their board members,
Yeah.
and I said, yeah, look, I have a story for you.
Yeah, something has changed.
Yeah, and it was still Corona, so I couldn't go there in person always, was still much on the phone. But like I said, I was calling for nearly 2 months, and I gave them all a vulnerable, transparent story about what happened to me, where I was going through. And the nice thing is, I think the thing I remember most is that even the biggest alpha males,
Yeah,
which
this is
managed
the
to
interesting
see
thing I
yours
want to
are,
talk about.
they get so small.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
true heroism.
Yeah.
This is being truly
And they
alpha
get-
when you're that vulnerable.
Exactly. And they are so impressed because they are the alpha males, they're all
Yeah.
on the rock, you know.
But it's a bit fake. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you come with a story which is so small but big at the same time,
It's huge.
That's-
Everybody has shit.
yeah, but that's it defines you, I think. And we had it was an amazing period.
Yeah.
I can, and I still remember many of the conversations at that time. Also from clients, I got emails supporting me, everything. It was like a
This is
hot
amazing.
shower.
This is amazing. It could
yeah.
have gone totally different.
Yeah.
In your head,
Yeah.
it was
I
a
was-
horror show.
Yeah, I thought my company would go bankrupt.
Yeah,
everything.
nobody would accept. Like, hey, you dress up as a woman, or whatever. Like some ghosts or demons go inside your mind like
Of
that.
course, yeah.
Did it happen? Are there instances where you had like such an experience, a negative experience? I would say, like a very disrespectful one in business. In business.
No, in business, never.
Wow. Yeah, I would have never said this.
No.
I would
No?
say like exactly. I know how the alpha males work, especially in corporate companies. The names that you're saying are super alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say more masculine energy over there?
Yeah, that's true. And there's so little females in management over there. You still
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
And it's like even so that 3% of the population is white, male, and also high educated, but they own like 75% of the boardroom functions. in
Oh,
the
yeah,
Netherlands
we know.
Still. And
That's a crazy number.
It's ridiculous.
That's a crazy number.
And that's why I love going into boardrooms now to speak
Break the
there and say,
fucking
okay,
ice.
I let go one of my signs. I became a female. I'm not that 3% anymore,
Yeah.
and I have even more success. So how?
Yeah. Explain.
What? Explain that to me. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they have no answer
Yeah.
because they knew I was there. And
She's so humble and so chill and everything. Talking so chill, but like business wise and on a personal level, I really look up to you. Like I don't work with like, oh yeah, this is my hero and this and that. I don't look at like, oh, Michael Jackson was this or Elon Musk is that.
Mhm.
Of course, they're amazing people, but like on a micro environment, people around you, so many people inspire me. You inspire me because you're very successful. That's why I'm earlier saying like, I look up to you.
Mhm.
You're very successful and you're humble about it. At least how I know you. Maybe she's an asshole too on the business floor. I don't know that. I don't believe it. But also on a personal level, talking about like shit. I have like cultural things. I'm also talking about it and also get messages from like cultural kids from cultural background like, hey, thank you for putting it out there. But I also get a lot of shit. Hey, religion wise, this and that. Like I just believe in being good and just communicating who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
People have their things to say, and what you said earlier, like as soon as you just get out of the cage and don't care about that, you feel the difference. And it's the best, I want to say drug, it has a bad taste to it, is the best feeling there is.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
totally being free.
The more close you get to yourself,
The
more
easier you
energy
live.
will get, and the easier you will live.
The easier life is because you just know how to be yourself.
Yeah.
Why are we pretending?
Exactly.
Well, we all are pretending. A lot of us are pretending a lot. That's why you're really inspirational in that way.
Yeah,
too.
because many people, they aspire to have all things like money, luxury,
Materialistic
and I have
things.
these things. Like in 2020, I was doing pretty well.
Yeah. Still doing well.
Yeah.
Better.
But I was, I was having a life at the time where many people would be, what people aspire. But I can tell you, this is not making you happy.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You hear it
and
so often.
Yeah, but it is really.
It's true.
Because I was so deep, and I had, I had realized all those things, but I was getting more and more unhappy.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't close to myself, and that's where true power is. And then you find real power inside yourself, and
that's it. That's where the true power is.
Yeah.
I see that in myself also. Even though I don't know like exactly 100% what I'm doing with all my things, but I know it feels right.
Yeah.
And on base of like, I'm 35, living like 35 years, from which like, I don't know, like 25 are very conscious.
Yeah.
I'm like, this feels good. My gut feeling at some point, you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel like the energy.
Exactly.
Nice. Tell me something about the new things, I will call it, that you're doing. Meaning the workshops, the book, speaking. Just before the podcast, you told me like, hey, I told you next Saturday I have to be there. Oh yeah, I have a thing there and I have a thing there. Like, how did that come about? Of course, it comes from you wanting to share, empower people, and tell your story. But like, take me a bit through that.
Yeah, like there are two things that brought me into quite a rush. Actually, first of all, I wrote my book.
Yeah.
I started doing that early last year when I just started my hormone treatment, which I started in the end of 21 after I informed everybody. And then I was feeling so happy. I was feeling so liberated. That's the right word.
Yeah.
And I got out of my cage and I saw what life really is about. It's really about. And then I started to write an autobiography and full of my story, but also with underlying messages and advices and hints. And my goal with my book is to, give people the power to believe in themselves, trust themselves, and let them know that they can do everything they want as long as they stay close to themselves.
Yeah.
And also I want to inform other people what my choice meant. That is not a choice actually. And
no, in your case, definitely not. It was like that.
Yeah, and I wanted to. I won't do that. What I think is very important in the Netherlands or in general is that I want to get attention in a way which is in a vulnerable way, like you said before, in a transparent way about what it really does to somebody and what it can do to somebody if you change it, if you listen to yourself. Yeah. Other than going into extreme things, like clothing or because that's, I think the polarization is coming because people, they cannot handle extremists, or people who are demanding extra rights, things like that, because then you create a gap between people.
Thank you very much. I wanted to talk about this topic.
Because that's my purpose on speaking to people. Yeah. I want to build bridges. That's my sole purpose. Yeah,
that's the whole thing. That makes total sense.
Yeah, and that's where I started to write my book about. And then I got connected to through one of our member of parliaments in the Netherlands, Martijn van Helvert. He's also from Limburg. He connected me to Lisa van Ginneke. She's a member of parliament now, and she's also a transgender woman.
I didn't know that.
And I met her last year, and we got a very good connection. And she was ambassador for Workplace Pride, which is an international foundation for LGBTQ rights. Yeah. And but she had to let it go because she was getting member of parliament, so she didn't have the time. Yeah. And then she handed over that stick to me.
And I didn't know this.
Yeah, and then I got that ambassador role. I think last year September or something, August, in 2022. And then I was introduced to her to the director from Workplace Pride. And we really get along pretty well, David and I, and now he asked me to be their ambassador, and we're looking to cooperate a lot more. I spoke at their international event last year, in May we have like a big conference in Spoorwegmuseum in Utrecht for like 400 people, and I'm speaking there with the CEO of ING and IBM. So I'm like the third speaker, and that's like, it's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm on the stage with those two guys, and it's like, then I realized how much my life has changed.
Yeah, and also
in like a few years' time.
Yeah.
I was going from a depressed boy in a room, you know, crying, suicidal, into
crazy,
3 years
crazy.
Later, I'm getting on a stage
crazy
there
if you think
next
about
to their
it.
CEOs. It's amazing. And I think
what can you say about that to people? Like, whatever your situation is, if it's good or bad, it will always change. You can always change it.
My tip and advice to everybody is always believe in your dreams. Stick onto them and believe in yourself, and you will be able to do anything you want.
100%. Yeah. This is not sold to the population for various reasons we know, but like it's 100% true. I want to tap into what you said earlier about polarization. I'm like a ooga booga kind of guy, go into like different spaces now, contemporary art, making a pizza dirt bike puts me in a contemporary space in Den Haag, or I go to Amsterdam. Like, I love it. I love to express myself and to be surrounded with anyone. Like, I don't care. But then certain things happen which ooga booga someone doesn't know. Like, I hold the door open for some people. Someone gives me feedback. I can open the door for myself, you know. I'm just generalizing. I'm just saying something extreme, but it was out of politeness. Or I'm looking at someone because I'm building up an exhibition. So you know me. I just give you a fist bump. Yeah. I'm just, hey man, hey, what's up? Hey. And then someone is like, fair enough, non-binary. And I am not a man, and this, for example, I don't know you, with all respect. I'm not discriminating you, I'm not saying shit about you. This is just the way, if you would know me, of course you don't know me, and I don't know you, otherwise I would talk differently, of course, because I have respect for you as a human being. This is my problem, in the way that I don't want to discriminate. Of course not. I have better shit to do. What the heck?
Of course, yeah.
And then that's crazy. In reward, I get discriminated and put into a box. Hey, this guy, that's toxic masculinity. One thing. 3 months ago, I paid, for example, for a drink at a bar because we were with the employees, my colleagues over here. Yeah. And there was a girl with us. Super cool girl. And I'm paying the drinks. And she just works, and she's an intern. She doesn't get paid because I'm broke. Yeah. I'm paying the drinks at the bar, Café Zondag, the local town, and the local cafe in town. The bar guy tells me, "Let her pay. Stop with your toxic masculinity." Like, crazy. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know who she is. What is going on? I just want to pay because I don't want. These are two extreme examples, but I have witnessed. I see this going on in like social media, you know, it has its ways. In like in my daily life, sometimes I see it, usually when I go to bigger cities. I'm wondering like how you think about that, like that movement in like, this is real like segregation. Like people are like putting themselves in front of each other.
I think it's sad.
Against each other. It is sad, right?
It's so sad because in the end, people are not defined by what they look like or which gender they are. People are defined by the actions they do or take, and defined by the things they do in life. Because people, in the end, they will remember me as a person who helped thousands of households getting more sustainable. I'm helping entrepreneurs, people, but as a coach, I'm helping other people with different feelings about themselves to inspire them to choose for themselves. That's what I will be remembered about, not like the transgender or anything. That's what like people are putting each other in too much cages, and it's
for no reason.
Useless. Yeah, it's useless.
It is out of like it is useless for sure, but it's as if it is out of insecurity or
they're
something.
insecure, yeah. But I think people who suffer from that most, the people who do that most, are often the very unsecure people. Insecurity is about themselves, which they portray on you. Basically, they show their own insecureness towards you, and that's very sad, because I always feel sad for those people.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really feel sad, because that doesn't make sense. Spend your time like on different things.
They would affect my feelings of happiness.
No,
I'm just feel sad for them.
Exactly.
You know?
They come and they go, like, but you wish them the best. And then one thing, you know me, man. One thing that I'm really... You see, I say, you know me, man. This is the way I talk. Like, it's not like, hey, you're a man. Like, and some people would take it out of context. But I know, like, you know how you are.
I tell you, many of my friends, girl friends, so friends I date. No, I'm not dating with girls anymore, but with girls like friends. Yeah. We all say man to each other. Like
what the heck? Like, I would get shit. Like, you don't say that. Anyway, then come the multinationals. Some of them are real, and they put a beautiful rainbow sticker over a drink and a logo in the Instagram, and then they pretend like they are for this. We know what they're after, you know? And like, I just see this whole movement going that side, and like the society, everybody's like, as if like one person says, yeah, and the next person doesn't even know what it is. They say, yeah, someone is right. Yes. And everybody's just following like sheep, like we always do. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And that is so sad, because where it was always, which is also not good. He is Arabic, he's black, he's Moroccan, he's a cheesehead, like we say in the Netherlands. Like, it goes to like 1,000 levels, like of groups where we just have a clash, and like, guys. Hello, can we just love each other and pass knowledge on, and like see if we can get on Mars maybe or something, if something happens, like to survive? It's moving more, I have the feeling, and I'm an optimistic person, you know me, that it's moving a bit to a bad side or something.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk too much about it, but it is something really that is, I would say, not annoying me, but like confronting me in reality.
Yeah, I can imagine that also with your background, of course, that people, they just put you in a box, and it can easily affect opportunities. Yeah,
it does.
And that's so sad, because that's what I want to strive for with my book, with my public speaking. Yeah. I want to show people that it's not scary if people are different than standard, or if what is standard, but you know, why their standard is so ridiculous. Yeah. And that I show that you can be very successful even if you are different than what you came from. That doesn't matter. Because my favorite quote is, it doesn't matter what somebody's born, but what they grow to be. Hey. And that's, you know, it's really, that's, I think the point of life is that you grow to be in the person or the thing that you want to grow to. Yeah. And you know,
full potential, whatever.
Of course, like people who are born in war zones, they can go to other areas. You see that with people from Syria right now. And they can have a new life here, you know, they can achieve things, they can work on their goals again. I think that's so nice. People
that's amazing. That's why I also love this country. Yeah. I would say Western Europe, but like the Netherlands is crazy. The blessings that we have here, the opportunities, the open-mindedness, how open-minded and liberal we are, like, it's crazy. How would this be, how would your story be in France? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
You would still do the same, but how, like, can we agree on the fact that in the Netherlands, like, it's way more liberal, or we are way more open-minded?
Yeah.
That's how I experience it. I don't know if this is the reality, but like...
Yeah, but I can still tell you that there are still many other transgenders, for instance, which are not so expressive as myself, and they are still feeling afraid.
Yeah, I understand that.
Their fears, you know, for their job, or so we are not there yet.
No, definitely not. I see that.
But that's not only on transgender. It's also with, for instance, gay people who are afraid to walk hand in hand on the street, or or people with a different cultural background, and they are afraid, for reactions on things.
Different dresses, headscarves, for example.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
We are stupid as a humankind.
Because we are too. But we have too fast. We conclude too fast. We have too fast. We conclude on people or background.
We put them in boxes.
And that's sad. So
but we do it.
Yeah.
Automatically. Isn't this like? Are we wired like this over like generations, or is this just how the way we are? For example, me, I would be hypocritical if I say that it's a lie. I walk outside, I see the guy from next door. I just put him in the box of, oh, that is Jan who has 2 kids and drives this and lives there and goes. Oh, that is Piche, whatever. I put, that is Hassan. Oh, this guy is Moroccan. This guy is Persian. Yeah. I do this too. So I would be lying if I said I don't do this and people are stupid that are doing that. Are we wired like that over generations, or is the human being just like that?
Yeah, I think.
And it is okay, whatever it is, because eventually you live your own life.
Yeah, I think it's also good if we have differences, but I think it would be more nice if we could appreciate differences, and that we can appreciate the situation, that we can learn from each other, other than that we have to hate each other or
criticize each other,
because there's no lesson in that.
There's nothing in that. There's hate in that.
You have to learn from that's not the right way, and that you can, of course, in the end, learn a lot from other people. I think that's the best thing,
100%. Yeah. On your own, you won't make it.
Yeah,
definitely not.
Yeah.
So many people have lived before us. So many people are living. 8 billion people are living with us right now. Yeah, like. It would be so nice if you exchange some perspectives, knowledge, because everybody's living. We feel like so special, and everybody's feeling special and has a life, has a path that they are doing,
of course,
going through. Where can people find you on the internet, on the World Wide Web?
My Instagram, I'm quite active on Instagram.
Yes,
I got onto that last year, early 2022. Basically to inspire other people to choose themselves and to show them how happy I am. My story, I want to take people on my journey, basically. Yeah. So every day I'm posting stories, taking people on my journey. And that's called Alan in Maastricht. Yeah. So
without a space or dash or something.
Alan _in_ Maastricht.
Okay. Yeah, I put it by the way in the description.
Yeah. And you can also find it through www.alaninmaastricht.nl.
Perfect.
Also, my Instagram is in the footer. Yeah. And there you can also see the things that I do. Yeah. I think it's also nice to know that from the book that I wrote, I'm publishing that at the end of April. End of April. Yeah, maximum beginning of May this year. Nice. And what I will be doing is I will give a part of my book earnings. It will go to my own foundation. Yeah, sorry. What kind of foundation? I forgot this. Yeah, nice that you mentioned it. Foundation Q4 last year. It's called Alan Cares for Africa. Because I lived in Kenya for over a year. My mother used to live there for a while. And I got a lot of life lessons over there. And my whole when I relativeren, relative. Yeah, relative. Yeah, but I I forgot the right perspective. Putting things in perspective. Yeah, exactly. And I got that power. I learned that totally in Africa, because when you will be confronted with it. I was there. I remember I told my parents I felt ashamed for all the times that I was crying when I didn't get something as a child. That's crazy. And that's something I learned there, because these people they have nothing from our point of view, but they are still smiling, they're happy, you know, and their life is so much easier and simpler as our life. And then you can see the main difference between the Western world, which evaluated from the African world, because that's where we all started in the end. That's where our societies also began once. But we evaluated into the Western world. But when I was there, I was thinking okay, who is more happy? Because of course they are laughing. They don't have our norm. They don't have the standard that they want to live up to. You know, our main problem for stress and all those things, burnouts. is because we put the standard for us often too high.
Yeah.
And those
Which doesn't
people,
make
they
any
don't do that.
sense.
They don't do that.
No.
And the most impressive thing I saw there, I was living with the Maasai for over a week, like nearly 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
It's a traditional tribe in Africa.
Yeah, I know the Maasai.
And I was with them. I met some guys from there on the beach once when I was on holiday, but I lived in Kenya for a year. I visited one of their villages. You can read the story in my book.
It's also included.
Yeah. And then I was like thrown back in time. I had my own version from Groeten uit de Rainbow, you know, the program on TV. And I was like, I really realized where we came from. Yeah. And I was talking with these people, and they don't have a word which defines the word luck. They don't know that word, but it's a continuous state of mind that they're in. So they're like continuously in the state of luck, happy, but they don't aspire it. So they don't like here.
So they're grateful in the moment. Yeah, everybody's looking for.
And
like
they're looking for luck, and they define
happy,
it. And they want to have car, or they want to have money. Yeah, but luck is so close to yourself. And then I realized what life is about, and because the lessons I got there at that time, I was like in the beginning of my 20s. I was not in a position to do anything for those people financially. So now a part of my book, a part of my expenses is going there because I want to. I started my own foundation to do water projects over there, food programs, to build schools. Because I was like there, now I see because of the dry, there is now in Kenya, it's pretty dry over there. People don't have primarily life needs like food and water,
basic needs,
or school, and that's like so sad. And then I think, okay, I don't need that money then so much from the book. I think these people, they need it much more than I do. Yeah, especially when they don't have these basic needs.
Yeah, that's so nice. Such a nice act of you. Yeah, that's so nice.
So
are you thinking about also visiting there to see how the project is going?
Yeah, of course.
If you have time between all your
I think maybe next year. This year I won't make it because it will be pretty busy with the book release and all the
public
signing
speaking,
sessions,
business.
Business. So I
modeling, running.
Yeah, it's pretty busy. But next year I will be for sure. I will be going back to Kenya, and I want to see some projects over there and to visit the Maasai again. You know, and see that the children and the people there are drinking from the water from my wells, and that's like
super nice.
That's true wisdom.
That is 100%.
I already feel the wisdom up front, and I haven't done it yet. Yeah. But I knew already when I see those children smiling. Yeah. And enjoying sweets or food, which I enabled for them. Yeah,
you can imagine that. We can fantasize it into reality actually, because it's just a future.
Exactly. Yeah. But
fantasize into today.
It will be like the cherish on my cake.
Cherry on your cake.
My cherry on my cake after all the work I've done. And to give it back to these people. Yeah. Because they learned me things.
They gave you some perspective.
They gave me wisdom. Yeah. And I'm ready to give it back now.
Super nice. I can talk another easily 2 hours with Ellen, but I think we are almost on an hour. Mm-hmm. Would you like to say something to end the podcast with, conversation with?
I think my general advice to everybody listening is never make the mistake that I did, and never be afraid to follow your dreams, whatever they may be, or to be yourself. Yeah, I agree. Whatever it may be, never be afraid, because that's just your reptile brain kicking in, and it feels very afraid, but it's only to protect you, which is often very not realistic. So, and if you wanted to talk with somebody about it, always seek help, but don't run away from it, because it's not there for nothing. And I think that's very
That's
important.
a good answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a warm hand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening and watching again.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ellen. Really.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.